how do you go about, I guess, advice for S&Cs when you're changing an environment? How do you go about sort of adjusting your philosophy and how you're applying those changes to maybe you might be starting to drop one practice or one method that you used to do and you've made a shift to it?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan or huge believer of not one model fits every athlete. Different points, I've talked to people, you can be a functional strength coach, you can be an Olympic lifting strength coach, you can be whatever you want to be. And it's kind of whatever model fits whatever's best for any particular individual at any particular time. So probably early doors at North Melbourne, we didn't do a huge amount of axial loading. We basically did sagittal plane work. And then over time, programs evolved into heavy axial loading, into a lot of frontal plane work, transverse work. Look, it's whatever is right for whatever individual at any point in time.
What are some of the significant differences when profiling an NBA athlete compared to an AFL footballer?
Football's done over a longer time frame. So you're starting to look at the physiological differences from an aerobic sport versus a game of basketball, which is very anaerobic, but still has an aerobic component. But if you're looking for a weight room perspective, they all do the same sort of movement. So other than the fact that basketball might have a few more tendon issues, but there's a lot more deceleration in basketball, they need a lot more eccentric strength from that standpoint, but you still decelerate in football. Probably where I've got to since coming back and being able to delve into some GPS information that we've had over the last few years. Basketball might be a 2.5 to 1 ratio, deceleration to acceleration. Football might be 1 to 1 for some guys, maybe 1.5 to 1 acceleration to deceleration. And they actually do decelerate still quite a lot.
Does your mindset shift in your prep when you're putting a program together for someone like an athlete that's given to you, like you said, that is a senior athlete? Maybe they've got a long list of injuries. So you sort of got that availability cap on as a priority compared to a younger athlete.
No, because I think that's we're here. That's our job. Our job's to keep pushing these guys. Realistically, the older athletes start to decline in different areas. And our job as S&C coaches is to stop that, or at least prevent that happening at a fast rate. So yes, I still profile all these guys. I may not do all of it, but I think we'll still sprint guys. So you're still sprinting guys, you may as well profile them. If you have access to VueMotion, which there's probably a lot of clubs, AFL clubs around, you can still get those splits. So there's your times for your horizontal force velocity profile there. So we're going to surf the curve today. They've surfed the curve, they've run a little bit of stuff that I'm looking at the minute and trying to get some drop jump data and seeing where they fall in different quadrants. Are they long contact time, like high jump height? Are they low contact time, low jump height? Where do they actually fall? Once they fall into a certain quadrant, all right, I'm just going to attack that. One session a week.
Perhaps there's a disconnect between what you've identified as an area that they need most important as bang for buck to maximize their development, and they feel intuitively, no, it's not. Actually, I hate that exercise or whatever it is. How do you sort of approach that, I guess, when you feel as the expert, no, this is what you need?
So it's about building a relationship. And I spoke about it earlier, is understanding now, why are they doing what they do? Once you understand why they're doing it, some guys it might be they play basketball because they love it. Some guys it might be this is their way of helping their family out. For other guys, it's as a kid was keeping them off the streets. So once you understand their why, you're breaking down that barrier that they might start to trust the process a little bit more. We should be good enough to have option A, B, C, and D. And once you just present those 3 options in front of them, they'll choose one. That's probably how I've gone about it.
You mentioned like VueMotion. For those that aren't aware of it, what is it all about? What do you like about it as a artificial intelligence coming into elite sport?
Yeah, like I've come from a piece where I think you work with coaches and front office. They're very emotional around decision making. So if we can be as objective as we can, like sometimes the eye does lie. So if we can be objective with as much information as we have, we can go back to them and actually provide fact. So that's what I like a little bit around the force plates, Kang Tech force decks, force frames, whatever stuff like it. It adds a piece of objectivity to something that's very subjective to the eye, I guess. The VueMotion piece is only something that I've been exposed to in the last couple of years. I like it from the kinograms that you get out of it, joint angles, etc. I like it from the change of direction